Hi everyone. So now in this session, it is the continuation of uniform flow. So in this session, we are going to find out the discharge through open channel by Chegges formula. So in this derivation, we can see that there is a sketch. There is a uniform flow which is traveling between section 1 and section 2. So what you are having now, the uniform flow is nothing but the flow, the velocity of flow, the discharge, or it may be the depth of flow is to be constant for a given length of the channel. We can see in this sketch, the length is L between section 1 and section 2. What you are having, the flow is maintained to be constant, then we can say this will be as uniform flow. And we can see that section 1 is higher level and section 2 is at lower level. The flow which is taking place from section 1 to section 2 is due to the gravitational force, because what you are having, it is an incline with respect to the bed slope is I, and there will be of self weight of the fluid, that is which is acting vertically downward as W, and here I represents the bed slope where the angle which is inclined with respect to the direction of flow. And if you want to find out the W, the weight that which is acting with respect to the direction will be as W sine I. So now the uniform flow in open channel, and we can see here this will be as the datum line. So that is the reference line. So let us consider a uniform flow of water in an open channel as shown in the figure. As the flow is uniform, it means the velocity, depth and the area will be constant for a given length, that is between section 1 and 2. So L is the length of the channel, A is the area of the water, I is slope of the bed, V is velocity, and P is perimeter. So wetted perimeter is nothing but where the water which touch the surfaces, will say that will be as perimeter, wetted perimeter. And F is the frictional resistance per unit velocity per unit area. So now the weight of water between section 1 and 2. So between section 1 and 2, so the weight will be represented as W. So if you want to find out the weight, then we know from the primary properties of fluids. So if you weight density is nothing but it is the ratio of weight of the fluid by volume of the fluid. So now here we have to find out the weight, then we should know what is the weight density of the fluid. So that will be represented as small letter W, or in terms of rho into G. Then volume will be calculated as area into length. So now the component of W along the direction of the flow, so that will be W sine I. So it is nothing but with respect to the direction of flow. Then capital letter W will be his weight, that will be represented as small letter w into A into L, that is weight density into volume, into sin I. So you can call this will be as equation 1, that is the component of W along the direction of flow. Then the second one is frictional resistance against the motion of water. So there will be of some frictional resistance. So when there will be of movement of fluid, or what you can say the water, then the frictional resistance will be calculated by F into surface area into velocity to the power of N. So F is frictional resistance against the surface area is perimeter into length. So we should know where the water which touch the surface is. So with respect to the length, so surface area will be calculated by perimeter into length. Then velocity is square. So why it is square? Because we have two sections. So it is velocity to the power of N. So based on the number of sections. So now there are two sections. That's why it is V square. So the forces acting on the water between the section 1 and 2 are components of weight of water along the direction of flow. And the second one is frictional resistance against the flow of water. And the third one is pressure force at section 1. And the fourth one is pressure force at section 2. So as the depth of water at section 1 and 2 are the same pressure forces on these two sections, then the pressures are same, then when it is acting in opposite direction, hence they cancel each other. So in case of uniform flow, the velocity of flow is constant for a given length of the channel, hence there is no acceleration. So given length of the channel, hence there is no acceleration acting on that particular water, hence the resultant force in the direction of flow must be 0. Then resolving all the types of forces, so then there will be instead of 4 forces, it is only 2, that is component of water along the direction of flow, and the second one is frictional resistance along the flow of water. So now if you resolve all the forces, that is components of direction of flow, that is in terms of weight, will be as WAL into sine I minus the frictional resistance against the motion of water is FPLV square. That will be equal to 0. Or I can say equation 1 and 2 will be WAL sine I will be equal to FPLV square. Then V square is equal to, we can send the remaining to the other side, WAL sine I by FPL. Then V will be equal to square root of WAL sine I by FPL. Then I can just split the terms, square root of W by F into square root of A by P into square root of sine I. So A by P, A is nothing but the area, P is nothing but the perimeter. So if you just taking that, A by P will be area by perimeter. So it will be represented as small letter m. So small letter m is hydraulic mean depth, or I can say sometimes it will be as hydraulic radius. Then m is equal to A by P. So then again we have square root of W by F. So we know W is weight density of water and F is the frictional resistance. So if you are taking square root of W by F, so that will be represented as Cheggy's constant, that is small letter c. Then V is equal to square root of W by F is c, then square root of A by P is m, then sin I. So for small values of I, sin I is approximately equal to tan I, that is approximately equal to small letter I. Then V is equal to C into square root of mi. And we know from the continuity equation, discharge Q is equal to A into V, that is area into velocity. Then if you want to find out a discharge in an open channel by Cheggy's formula, then Q is equal to A into C into square root of m into I. Q is the discharge, A is the area, C is the Cheggy's constant, that is will change with respect to the roughness coefficient as well as based on the condition. Then small letter m is hydraulic mean depth and small letter I is the bed slope with respect to the channel slope of the gravity, where the water which has to flow between section 1 and section 2. So this is the derivation for discharge through open channel by Cheggy's formula. The next is, based on this, if you want to find out the numerical in an open channel, then we'll use Cheggy's formula, that is Q is equal to A into C into square root of mi. So to find out the rate of flow, or it may be for the velocity. The next is, they may ask you to find out the empirical formulas to find out the Cheggy's constant. So for that, there will be of 3 different equations. So the first one is Bazin's formula in MKS units, that has been found out by the scientist name is Bazin. So that is C is equal to 157.6 by 1.81 plus K by square root of m. So K represents Bazin's constant and depends upon the type of and the roughness of the channel, and m is hydraulic mean depth. And the second one is Ganglet-Kutter's formula. So there are 2 scientists who are clubbed, and he has found out the mathematical formula, that is C is equal to 23 plus 0.00155 by I plus 1 by n. That whole thing divided by 1 plus 23 plus 0.00155 by I into n by square root of m. So n is roughness coefficient, that is Kutter's constant, and I is slope of the bed, and m is hydraulic mean depth. And the third one is Manning's formula, that is C is equal to 1 by n into m to the power of 1 by 6. So n is Manning's constant and m is hydraulic mean depth. So these are all the 3 important empirical formula to find out the Cheggy's constant. So sometimes in the numerical, while calculating the discharge through Cheggy's formula, we can directly use the equation Q is equal to A into C into square root of mi. But sometimes Cheggy's constant value will not be given. Then they may give you the Bazin's constant or Kutter's constant, or it may be the Manning's constant. So then we have to remember these 3 empirical formulas to find out the Cheggy's constant. Then after finding out the Cheggy's constant value, then we have to substitute in the discharge equation to find out the discharge, or it may be the rate of flow. So in the next session, we can start with the numerical part. Thank you.